Good evening, Namaskar, Jai Hind. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. So I guess I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Jai Hind, Radhe Radhe Mohit. Good evening. Good evening, Shikha. Good evening, Israr. So I hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Operation Sindoor. Yes. So yes, in the early morning today, we got the good news. And at the same time, there is one thing which has been really remarkable. Like even the press briefing which was done after this Operation Sindoor, it was done in a very good manner. Like the way India has responded. First, of course, the strikes in the terrorist sites in POK and other regions. So that was, of course, very good. But at the same time, the briefing, the manner in which it has been made public, that is also equally good. If you look at this, the way it has represented, like we have got Colonel Sophia Qureshi and then Wing Commander Vyomika Singh. They were the two giving the press briefing for the strikes by Indian forces on the terror camps in Pakistan. So that itself is a symbol to the world. That itself is a symbol to the world that terrorism may be like based on one factor or another factor. It may target one type of people or one religion, one class, one community. But in our country, we do not consider that. In our forces, in our like democracy, in our government, and each and everything, we see that there is no such thing like gender bias or religion bias or any other bias. When it comes to us, it is the country which stands first. When it comes to us, it is democracy and the rule of law which comes first. You may have seen one more very important part, that after all these things, Prime Minister has gone to the President House to brief the President about what has been done by India with respect to Pakistan. Okay. So that shows the maturity of democracy. Even though it is more of like a simple gesture, of course, the president knows everything from the beginning to the start. But then also there is a formal process which is being followed by the Indian Prime Minister also or the Indian forces also. So it doesn't seems to be in a haphazard manner. It doesn't seems to be like we are doing anything. We are suddenly announcing something and then coming back on that. So it's not like that. It shows the maturity of the country. It shows the maturity of the political like the leadership also. You can see from the different sections of the society, from the different political parties also, from all of them, it has been said in one voice that they stand with the country, they stand with the army in these times. Okay. So that is one positive part. This shows this the maturity of India. This shows this political maturity also. This shows this diplomatic maturity also. The bureaucracy, how it handles. And see, in any of these operations, you may not have seen that any of the armed forces of India or any of the military or any personnel related to them, they are making any absurd claims. It is all coming through proper channels. They're not just shouting anything or they are not just saying anything. It is all coming through a proper channel. So that is something which reflects that if a country is powerful, it is much more responsible. Okay. That with greater power comes greater responsibility. You can see how this is being handled, how the things are being handled by the Indian Defense Forces also, Ministry of External Affairs also, Prime Minister also, political parties also, whether in government or in opposition. So this is one sign of maturity. So anyways, that is a positive thing. But the best part for me was this one, that how it was, how the press briefing was done, and even the selection of the name for the Operation Sindoor. So that was also very remarkable. That was also very remarkable that when terrorists came to India and they specifically targeted the male, thinking that women are not that much powerful, they are not that much capable, and they were trying to show that they will kill the they will kill just the male person, and then they will show it to women that we are more powerful. But then we have shown that it's not that in our country. We believe in that irrespective of the gender, whether it is male or female, they are equally capable, they are equally powerful, they are equally empowered. So that is one thing which we have shown. Yeah. So this is one good part. Yes. That also shows that how the country is integrated, how the country is united from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. So that is the true reflection of what India is. That is the true reflection of what India is. So that's a very good thing. Okay. Now, the topics which we are going to discuss today, one of the very important topic is India-UK trade deal. So this is one of the most remarkable thing which we see right now, India-UK trade deal. So this is related to your GS paper 2. So this is one thing which we are going to discuss in today's session. The second thing which we are going to discuss is safe harbor clause. It is part of your the digital IT rules also, somewhat part of GS paper 2 also, and part of GS paper 3 also. Then we will talk about this one major issue, the role of civil services in India. So they are all three related with the mains portion. These three are related to mains portion. And then we will talk about this Human Development Index also, transparency with respect to judiciary also, and at the same time Gaganyaan mission also. Okay. So these three things have been there as part of prelims also. So we are going to discuss that. Now, one more thing that crash course, yes, I was just coming to that. Pallavi, as you know, and as all of you know that today in Delhi from 7 p.m. there is blackout. Okay. There is blackout. Mock drills have been announced in multiple areas across Delhi, and it has been said that all the citizens, they have to cooperate in that. So for that very matter, in the evening after 7 p.m. we are having no such classes today. Okay. Because everyone is to participate in that. It is the duty of the citizens also to participate in that. So that's why from 7 p.m. we are not having that class today. Okay. So I hope that is clear. We have already finished the static portion. There is one class of current affairs we have to do, and then one class of current affairs of environment and one class of science. So we will do that part. Okay. So then one more thing. Last day I have given you this task. Do you think that it is the right time for India to introduce genetically engineered crops? So I have given this one question to you last day. So tell me, have you written about it? Have you written this question? Last day we have got this one question for practice. So have you written this question? And what all points you have written here? This is one question which was there for you. Okay. I have got one answer from Anjali that why it is the right time for India to introduce this. But I wanted all of you to write about this. You can write it in your copy also, or you can write it there in the comment box also. So tell me, what do you think? Why it is the right time for India to introduce genetically engineered crops? Okay. See, first thing is, if you have to write this answer, how we will start? Here we are basically trying to discuss this answer writing part. That how we will start this answer writing part from here. First thing is, you will have introduction. First thing is, you will have introduction. Now remember one more thing. I have told you that you have to write this in 150 words. You have to write this in 150 words. So there is a rule that 10% of it should go to, or combine together, like 10 to 15% plus 15%. That is the word limit. That is the word limit for intro and conclusion. For intro and conclusion. So it means that this introduction can be of 25 words approximately. Around 25 words. So you can give what you can write in the introduction here. Now, in this question, you can either define what is genetically engineered crops, or you can talk about some of the current developments also. Like you can mention that recently India has introduced 2 genetically engineered crops of rice. Okay. And you can also mention that what are their features, okay, in brief. So that has to be there within 25 words. Now the question is, do you think it is the right time for India to introduce genetically engineered crops? So if you think that we need to have it, so you will mention why the regions for its introduction. Regions for its introduction. So there you can write something point wise. Like, okay, we have a huge population to feed. Okay, you can mention about the population factor. Okay, you can mention here about the population factor. We have huge population to feed. Second thing you can mention about is climate factor, that climate is changing, and the current situation what we see that sometimes it is flood, sometimes it is drought. So there also we are facing this one of the challenge. The third factor is our productivity is low. Our productivity is low. So that's also can be resolved by having the genetically engineered crops. Productivity of the crops can also be increased. Then the fourth factor you can mention is the farmer's income. That it will also increase the farmer's income. And one more factor which you can write here is that it will also help in increasing the or improving the nutrition profile. Okay, that even we can improve this nutrition profile. That these genetically engineered crops, they can have some specific nutrients, they can help in raising the farmer's income, they can also enhance the productivity of Indian crops, they can help to get this climate resilient agriculture, and at the same time it can ensure that we are able to feed 1.5 billion people in India. Okay, sorry, 140 crore people or 1.5 billion people in India. So this is one part why this is necessary. But at the same time, you can also mention that there are certain challenges. There are certain challenges. The first one is, there are certain challenges. The first one is health concern. That this genetically engineered crop may be having some health concern. Second thing is, many of the people are saying that it will also pollute the native biodiversity, or that can be loss of native biodiversity. So you can mention about environmental concern. You can mention about environmental concern. Then you can also mention here, that this genetically engineered crops may be having this challenge for the farmers in the beginning, that the cost of getting these crops may be a little bit higher. Cost of getting these seeds may be a little bit higher. Okay. So input cost may be higher. So then you have mentioned some challenges also. And since it is a 150 word question, you don't have multiple options now. Even in writing this much, suppose you are writing 10 lines for them also, then also you have written here 25 words and you have got 8 points. So 80 words is already there. So now you have written almost all the parts of your answer. What you can do is, then you can finally write the next part, that is conclusion. that India should proceed with this genetically engineered crops with taking a cautionary approach. We must engage with all the stakeholders, and it should be backed by solid research on the implications of these genetic crops. That even if we are going for it, we should have a solid research on this first, and then we can introduce it in our agricultural fields. So that is one question, that how we can approach this answer. Okay. So I hope that is clear. So see, like we are doing just this one part. Many of you have started fresh. So we will try to have 1 or 2 questions daily, and then you should also write it. We have discussed the model answer of one question. Here we have discussed the model answer of one question. So in this same manner, you should try to write from the next session. I want many of you to write the answer, so that you can develop that skill of writing the answer also along with the classes. Okay. So this is one part, question number 1. Now, coming to this one part, let's have some questions for you also. Okay. This is one question for prelims for you. Consider the following pairs: water structure, river. Here we have Govind Sagar, Satluj, Pong Dam, Ravi River, Pando Dam, Satluj River. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? So that is one question for you. Consider the following pairs: water structure and river. Govind Sagar, Satluj, Pong Dam, Ravi, Pando Dam, Satluj. How many of the pairs given above are correctly matched? Okay, so I think all of you remember this. Yes, that's a good part. I think most of the people are going for option number A. So Govind Sagar is of course correct. It is there on Satluj. Pong Dam. The Pong Dam, we see that it is on the Beej River. Pando Dam, it is also on Beej River, okay, or Byas River. So here second and third are correct. Incorrect here. So answer will be only 1. Answer here will be only 1. These Pong and Pando Dam, they are on the Beej River. Okay. Now, the Bhakra Waste Management Board is responsible for water distribution between Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Rajasthan. Only 1, only 2, only 3, all 4. The Bhakra Waste Management Board is responsible for water sharing or water distribution between. First option is Punjab, then we have Haryana, then we have Delhi, then we have Rajasthan. So question number 2. Mention the question number also, then only I will get the idea. Good evening, Anjali. Okay, B option, D option. So see, this is also one important part. Last day we have discussed about this, that when we are talking about this Bhakra Waste Management Board, it is responsible for water distribution between Punjab, Haryana, Delhi and Rajasthan also. Plus, we have one more thing, that is Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh. So they are all being looked by this Bhakra Waste Management Board. Okay. So here the answer is going to be all 4. Okay. Here the answer is all 4s. Okay. Then come to this question number 3, assertion. CBI cannot investigate a case in a state without that state's consent. Second is CBI is not a statutory body. So here the codes are both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Second is both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. Third is saying A is true but R is false. A is false but R is true. Yes, Himachal Pradesh is also there. Yes, Ankit, in the beginning of class itself, I have told you about this. Today, due to mock drills and blackout, we are not having any classes after 7 p.m. today. So that's why no classes in crash course today. Okay. So if we look at this, yes, so C option, D option, B option, C option. So many of the people are going for option number C. But C is correct one. CBI is not a statutory body. We have seen that CBI has been established through an executive resolution of the union government. It has been established through a resolution of the executive government. It is not a statutory body, it is not a constitutional body. It has been established by an executive resolution of the union government. So here the second option is correct. First is also correct, that it cannot investigate a case in a state without that state's consent. So both statements are correct here. But then it is not explaining the first one. Why does they need the consent? Because law and order. Because law and order is a state subject. So that's why they need the consent. They need the consent because law and order is a state subject. So hence the CBI needs the approval from the states for investigating any case. So here the answer will be option number B. Both A and R are correct, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So answer here will be option number B. Now coming to this one part, India-UK trade deal. So after a long period of time, after many years of discussion, negotiation, many such arrangements, many such like discussions and deliberations, what we see that finally we are having a deal with United Kingdom. In fact, United Kingdom has said that it is one of the most impactful deal. This is not being said by India. United Kingdom has said that this is one of the most important deal, or perhaps the most important deal after Brexit. After Brexit means when Britain has quitted this European Union. Okay. When Britain has exited this European Union, after that, this is the first major deal of United Kingdom. And in fact, for India also, this is going to be one of the major deal. Why? If we look at this, India, if we talk about this, India is the 5th largest economy of the world. Okay. And even if we talk about UK, it is also the 6th largest economy of the world. So what we see that this is the deal between the 5th and the 6th largest economy of the world. If we talk about in the purchasing power parity, India stands at the 3rd number. India stands at the 3rd number in terms of purchasing power parity. So it is a free trade deal between two major economies of the world. Right now, if we look at this, India is the 12th largest trading partner of Britain. We are the 12th largest trading partner of Britain. And it is expected that after this trade deal, now the relation between India and Britain is going to improve significantly. Okay. So what are the main parts of the deal? What are the main parts of the deal? If we look at this, there is this one provision that zero duty access for India. 99% of Indian exports to the United Kingdom will benefit from zero duty. 99% of the goods which are going to UK, United Kingdom, will now have zero duty. At the same time, India will get duty-free access on 90% of tariff lines from UK. 85% of them are going to become zero within a decade. So even if you remember this one part, that our most of the exports to United Kingdom, they are going to have a zero duty, means no custom duty will be imposed on that. This is going to boost our trade competitiveness. This is going to boost our trade competitiveness. And see, at the same time, what we also see that this is also a signal. This is also a signal for India and European Union. India and European Union trade deal. So it is in fact a signal also for India and Europe trade deal, that UK has already got the deal. France can have it anytime. Okay. If European Union is not coming forward, then other countries might get this same deal with India as well. Okay. Then on the other hand, we have this one thing, like for United Kingdom, what is the benefit for the United Kingdom? There's some of the major import items to India are whiskey and gin. Their tariffs are going to reduce. So from 150% to 75, then 40 over the next 10 years. So the import duty on all these things are going to reduce over the next 10 years. So they will also become cheaper in India, or the export of these goods by UK to India will also increase. Okay. Then what we will see that, like automotive tariff, it is also going to reduce from around 100% to 10%. So the vehicles from UK will now be able to enter the Indian market at a reduced tariff rate. If you see, that is the signal for United States also. Tesla is trying to enter into the Indian markets. They also want a similar kind of deal. So while, of course, right now we see that a lot of things is going on in the world, and in that context, this trade deal matters a lot. This trade deal matters a lot, not only for India, but for the entire world. For the entire world, that there is a trade deal between two major countries of the world, two major economies of the world. Okay. Now, at the same time, what we see that the bilateral trade is expected to double by 2030. Right now also, we have a trade of near about 42 billion euros. We also have a trade of near about 42 billion euros. So it is expected to become double by the next 2030. Okay. Britain, it will get benefit in these sectors: whiskey, gin, automotive products, cosmetics, aerospace, medical devices, lamb, salmon, fish, chocolate, biscuit, etc. So these sectors of Britain will get the benefit. Okay. And there is also this one thing, Indian workers and their employers, they will not be paying social security in the UK for 3 years. Okay. So when Indian people are going to United Kingdom, even if they are having a social security here in India, they have to pay for social security in Britain also. So this is going to benefit the Indian professionals who are working for temporary basis in United Kingdom. That if someone is going to work for 1 year or 2 years, so they won't have to pay for the social security there. In fact, if they're having it in India, they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to pay for any extra social security bill in United Kingdom. So that is also something which has been resolved in case of India-UK trade deal. Okay. So while this is the initial part, many more things of this deal will come in future also. Right now, this is the deal. Now, after that, in the next 1 week, you will find that there is going to be several editorials on basis of this one. Right now, this is just one part of the portion. We have got some facts that, okay, this is the major provisions, okay, and these are the sectors which are going to benefit. Now, gradually we'll find that over the next 1 week or 2 weeks, you will find many editorials with respect to that. So whenever you are getting something there, try to add it. In the last week, I have told you how to make the notes. Some of you may have attended those sessions. There is also a video on KGS IAS English. So from there also you can see that how you have to make the notes of these topics. Okay. So there you can see that if this is one topic, you can make a theme, and later on you can keep on adding on this. So this is one such topic which will always be there. Okay. This will always be there. Okay. But when Supreme Court give orders, do they need to get a state approval? No, no, no. Once Supreme Court has given order to CBI, no consent required. Because Supreme Court has given that order, so no consent required. I hope this first part is clear. What is the portion of India-UK trade deal? I hope this part is clear. Now the second article is about revision of the safe harbor clause. So let us try to first understand this. What is the safe harbor clause? Let us first try to understand this, that what exactly is the safe harbor clause and what change we are bringing here. Okay, let's see this part. In our country, we have this IT Act of 2000, Information Technology Act 2000. Under section 79 of that, there is a provision called as safe harbor. Okay. So we have this one thing called as IT Act, Information Technology Act 2000. So under this, we have one thing called as section, we have this one thing, section 79. Section 79. So this is providing for safe harbor clause. So what is the meaning of it? The meaning is very simple, that suppose that there is a person, Mr. ABC. Now on Facebook, this person ABC has posted something. He has given a post. Okay. He has made a post on Facebook, and that post is illegal. Let's say that he has uploaded something which is illegal or which is a crime. Okay. Let's suppose that if it is illegal or if it is a crime, then the punishment for this, will be given only to Mr. ABC. It will not be given to Facebook. It will not be given to Facebook. Why? Facebook is acting just like an intermediary. It is a digital intermediary. It is providing a platform. So there is a safe harbor clause that if a person is posting something illegal on Facebook, so Facebook will not be considered responsible for this. They will not be given the penalty for this. They will not be giving this penalty for this. Okay. So now there is one thing. There is one thing that Facebook will have to make sure that they are following the government request for takedown. That if government is saying that you have to remove this post, the Facebook is immediately removing this post. Okay. They are following due diligence and they are following the orders of the government. Okay. So this penalty or this punishment relief is only if they follow due diligence and take down on request. So this is one part which we see that safe harbor clause is giving them this one protection. Okay. So this is one part. Now there is second thing is that government is saying that we are going to change this. Okay. So what we are saying that changes which has been proposed. Changes which has been proposed here. The first change is that digital platforms, these digital platforms now will be made accountable. That they will also be made accountable for this. That if someone is using their platform, for, let's say, fake news or anything, for example, if someone is using their platform for fake news or anything, so in that context, in that scenario, the government might like also consider them accountable for this, and there may be penalties on them also for this. Okay. So this is one thing, that if they are not able to act against misinformation, so they might also face this penalty. Okay. So this is one thing. Like, it requires platform to actively remove the fake news. Okay. Requires platform to actively remove fake news, okay, by themselves. Okay. That it's not that it should be always a demand from the government. Okay. It has to be self-initiative. It has to be a self-initiative, that they have to remove this news by themselves, otherwise they will be facing the penalty. So it should not be based simply on a government request, but at the same time, what we see that it should be done by the social media platforms itself or the digital intermediaries themselves. So earlier we were having this safe clause, this safe harbor clause, but now the government is thinking that we are going to revise this, we are going to remove this. Okay. So that is one thing. It has not been done yet. It has not been done yet. Maybe government will introduce a bill for it. Maybe the government will remove this from this part. But here you can keep this one thing in mind. What is the safe harbor clause? What are the provisions in India with respect to this? Okay. Now one more thing here, one more interesting thing here. The interesting part is this, that while the government is asking the digital intermediaries, the social media platforms, that you have to remove the fake news by yourself. On one hand, we see that government is asking these platforms that you have to remove the fake news by yourself. But on the other hand, what we see that recently the Bombay High Court, okay, it has struck down the PIB fact check unit. Okay. So recently what we see that the Bombay High Court, this has struck down. Okay. So PIB fact check unit was there. Now there were many allegations that PIB fact check unit is specifically targeting some of the news articles. Okay. So due to multiple reasons, due to multiple such things, it has been said by multiple journalists and all that PIB fact check is basically discrediting the journalism. Okay. Like government is checking whether journalism is going on the right track or not. So you can understand that what is at risk here. It's not that right now the PIB is not honest, but the thing is, the journalism cannot be controlled, or its authenticity cannot be called in just by the government alone. Only the government itself cannot discuss or cannot tell that what is correct, what is not correct. Okay. So there is one thing called as independence of the press. There is one thing called freedom of speech and expression. under that part itself, we see that there is independence of the press. And if a PIB fact check unit like that is existing, and if in any case, if it is censoring a free journalism, then it is a threat to the fundamental rights. So Bombay High Court has struck down the PIB fact check unit. So on one hand, the government is asking the digital media platforms that you have to establish a fact check unit, you have to like remove the fake news and all. On the other hand, its own unit has been struck down by the Supreme Court. So many things going on simultaneously in the country, and meanwhile we have got this safe harbor clause also. So I hope you understand what's going on. There are so many things which goes on simultaneously, and that is the beauty of democracy. That is the beauty of democracy. Okay. That while on one hand we stand united in case of any such external aggression, in case of any such external threat, but on the other hand, it is equally important to always uphold the constitutionalism, always uphold the democratic ideals of the nation. Okay. Like we see that in the beginning of class itself, we have seen how in the manner, like if we talk about how the Indian government has acted, so that is representing the constitutionalism, that is representing the democratic ideals. So that has to be preserved in each and every field of the democracy. Okay. So this is one part, the second article. Now, coming to this one question, like once there was this one question that which of the following have occurred in India after its liberalization of economic policies in 1991. So we have seen that we have got a trade deal, and in respect to that we have this one question that which of the following has or have occurred in India after its liberalization of economic policies in 1991. First is saying share of agriculture in GDP increased enormously. Share of India's export in the world trade increased. FDI inflows increased. India's foreign exchange reserves increased enormously. So what will be correct here? Now after this we have one topic which all of you are interested about. After this one, we have one of the topic which I think every one of you can connect with. Okay, there is one answer is option number C, one answer is option number B. So what will be correct here? C option, B option. I think most of the people are going for option number B. Yes. Share of agriculture in GDP increased enormously. That is incorrect. So A option and D option, you can remove it. 2 and 3 are automatically correct. So you have to see this. India's foreign exchange reserve increased enormously. So in 1990s, our foreign exchange reserve was $1 billion. Now it has increased to 700 to 800 billion dollar. So is that an enormous increase or not? From $1 billion to 700, 800 billion dollars. So of course, this is an enormous increase. So 2, 3 and 4. Even in the time of 2017, even in that time, it was more than $600 billion or reaching around 500 billion. Even in that time, it was reaching around $500 billion. Okay. So then also it was correct. Right now it is 700 to 800 billion dollar. So again, it holds true. So answer here is B option. Now, coming to your topic. So this is one of the topic which you have to always see. Okay. The role of the civil services. So tell me, it's your topic. what is the role of civil services in India? I think all of you know that, and if you don't know that, you must know that, because you are preparing to be a civil servant. So you must know this part, that what is the role of civil services. So tell me, what do you think? After becoming a civil servant, what will be your duty? What work will be performed by you once you become a civil servant? Having photo ops. Nowadays, we see that many of the people think that if you become a civil servant, you can make some Instagram reels and YouTube reels. That is not part of civil servant or civil services. That is not one thing which you get here. Civil services is all about the hidden work. Okay. You have to work in such a manner that people don't even know your name, but they know your work. Policy formulation and implementation. Okay. Policy making and execution. Fine. Maintaining law and order. Democracy to maintain रखेंगे. Okay. Public service delivery. Fine. See, when we talk about the civil servants, they are basically a repository of institutional knowledge. They are a repository of institutional knowledge. They know how the things are done. They know this, how it works, how the system works, how the system operates. They have made the system, they have lived the system, they have advanced the system. So they know how the system works, how everything works in our country. The first thing is, they are a repository of institutional knowledge. They advise in policy making and implement government policies. So they help in policy making also, they help in its implementation also. They also help in execution of government programs, rule enforcement, and ensuring fair elections. They also help in ensuring the fair elections. They are executing the different schemes or programs of the government. They are also there for enforcing the rules which are made by the government, which are made by the parliament. So rule enforcement is also their part. They also provide continuity during transitions. Okay. Even when there is a transition from one government to another government, the basic things always remain same. You have seen that in India, there have been different parties. There have been different political parties having just opposite ideologies. Even if they have come to the power, something remains same. Something remains unchanged, and that is the bureaucracy of India. Okay. So it is maintaining that continuity in the policy. It's not that today we have one policy and tomorrow we are overturning it altogether. So that is also reflecting the maturity of our system. They help the system to become mature, advancing or maturity of institutions. That is also the role of civil servants. So this is one thing which we see, that what is the role of the civil servants. Okay. But at the same time, we also see that there are certain challenges. The first one is erosion of neutrality. Okay. Now what we see, that from time to time, there have been certain issues like bureaucrats are getting influenced by the politics. Okay. Bureaucracy getting influenced by politics, that is a major disaster. Okay. Then we see that there is this political interference in posting, transfer, and decisions. So there is a political interference also, whether a person is getting posted or getting transferred, or even in decision making at minor level, there is interference from the political institutions or political leaders. Okay. So that is another part. The third thing is this lack of domain expertise. In many cases, we see that when we are talking about, say, let's say we are developing a policy related to IT. So we should have some expert from the IT fields. We should have some experts from the IT field. It cannot be made just by a generalist. So that is one thing which has been highlighted many a times, but that we are lacking that specialists. We are lacking that specialist. So that is one of the challenge. Another challenge is corruption and lack of accountability. Apart from all these things, this is in fact one of the major challenge, corruption and lack of accountability. Okay. So that also becomes one of the major issue. And one more thing is there is no such outcome measurement. Okay. Or even if it is existing, it is quite weaker. Okay. So outcome measurement, like focus is still on processes and outputs, not the outcomes. Okay. The outcomes are not being regarded, that if any decision is being taken by any of the officer, what is the outcome of that? What is the end result of that? The focus should not only be on the process. Just to give an example, you have seen that in many of the cities, the district magistrates are working all the day round just for demolishing the illegally constructed shops or changing the street vendors away from there. They are removing the street vendors from there. They are saying that you are not allowed to have your any such shops or anything on the roads or near the footpath or anything. That's fine. That is a part of process. Of course, it is illegal. But then what is the outcome of it? Are they given some employment somewhere else? Have we made any such arrangement for them where they can sell their vegetables? What is the outcome of that? That matters more. Or otherwise, what happens that till the time that DM is there in that district, street vendors are away from that area. After 6 months or 1 year, they will again come back to the same area. They will start selling the same thing. But if they are given any such special place, if they have been allotted some area, then what we will find that will be a much more permanent solution. Okay. So this is one thing which we see. Outcome measurement is weak. Okay. We see that there is no such focus on the outcome. Rather, it is just on whether the rule has been enforced or not, whether they are following the rules or not. That is the main theme here. Okay. So these are the challenges. Now, what reforms are suggested? First thing which was suggested is upholding the bureaucratic autonomy. Okay. So there must be a bureaucratic autonomy, and we should not have this much of political interference. So that is the first thing. Second thing is reasonable independence in posting and tenures. There should be a reasonable independence, or there should be a proper institution looking after this. And that institution should be free from any such political bias or any such interference from any political parties or anyone in the government. Okay. The third part is from procedure to outcome. Okay. That we have to monitor the actual impact, not just the expenditure, that how much money has been spent, how much rule has been followed. We have to see what is the actual outcome of that. So this is another part which we see here. Then it has been suggested that we can have lateral entry. I know many of you will not agree for this, that it has been said that there should be some lateral entry, there should be more lateral entry in civil services. Of course, many of you will not agree for that, that you are spending all your time for this, you are giving that much of 12 hours, 14 hours reading from polity to economy to ethics, and then someone is saying that there should be lateral entry in civil services. Okay. Then one more thing is self-evaluation and accountability mechanism. That has also to be provided, that there should be some self-accountability mechanism, that also has to be given in case of civil servants. Okay. So this is one part, that what is needed for the civil services, that what is the challenge there, what is their role, and what is the reform which they require. So I think this is one entire part of your portion of the mains. This is one part of the mains. Like in GS paper 2 also you have to read this. So whenever you get some special scheme with respect to that or any such a specific thing, you can just update it there. Okay. Now, we have discussed that earlier also, that today we have this mock drill in Delhi. So no classes after 7 p.m. That's why we are not having class today. Okay. Now, coming to one last topic, next prelims topic, that in HDI, Human Development Index, India had jumped to 130th position from 133rd. Okay. So we have got this Human Development Index of 2023, HDI 2023. Okay. So this one is released by United Nations Development Program. It is released by United Nations Development Program, and what we see that India stands 130 out of 193 countries. Okay. Earlier India's position was 133, but now we have got 130 position. So this is one basic part, that what is India's position in case of Human Development Index. But see, there are certain things which you have to understand from here, that if we compare from the long run, okay, if you compare, just like if you compare it from 2014 also, in 2014 our score was 0.615. From there, in the last 10 years, we have reached to this 0.685 in 2023. Okay. And when we cross this 0.700, so then we will transition into developed economy. So you can see here, I am just giving a hint here, that right now India is in middle income countries. Right now, if we look at this, India is in the middle income countries or middle development countries, medium human development. It is medium human development. That is where India is lying right now. But we have already reached this score of 0.685. So it is only a matter of 0.15. So if we are all going in the good direction, then maybe by 2030 or even in the next 1 or 2 years also, we may be placed now in the high development threshold. Okay. We will be able to cross this 0.700. We are just 0.015 points away from crossing this threshold. And we are improving. Like earlier it was 0.676. So we are crossing 0.009 in 1 year. We are doing it in 1 year. So it is like a prediction that in the next 1 or 2 years, if things are going right, then we will transition into this high development threshold country of the world. Okay. So that is one positive news for India, that in Human Development Index, we are improving continuously, consistently. Okay. But there is one challenge. Inequality is very much high in India. Inequality is still very high in India. So that's why our score is reduced by 30%. Our score is reduced by 30% just because of inequality. If we bring more equality in our society, then we will already be there in this developed threshold. So that is one challenge for India. If we are becoming much more equitable country, much more providing equality in terms of gender, in terms of poor people, then we will cross that threshold. We will be in the high development countries of the world. Okay. So that is one part from HDI. They have got this 3 indicators, like 3 parameters are there. One is health, one is health. Okay. Then the second one is education, and the third one is standard of living. Health, education, and standard of living. So these are the three main parameters on which HDI is being calculated. In terms of health, there is life expectancy at birth, which is calculated, that what is the life expectancy at birth. So we are improving that. Infant mortality rate, it has reduced enormously in India. Okay. Then in the case of education, it is about mean year of schooling, and it is also about expected years of schooling. So there also we are having a significantly higher number. And the third part is standard of living, where we are having gross national income or per capita. Gross national income per capita. And right now what we see that this gross national income per capita has increased to a significantly higher value. In terms of purchasing power parity, our gross national income has crossed $9,000. Okay. So it has increased from around $2,000 to $9,000. That is one important part. Our GNI, gross national income per capita, it is $9,046. Okay. So this is one part. Our gross national income, it has increased 4x. Okay, means 4 times. It has increased 4 times. It was near about $2,167 in 1990. It has increased up to this $9,046. Okay. So there is an enormous increase in our per capita income also in terms of purchasing power parity. Okay. In real terms, it is on the lower side. But in terms of purchasing power parity, it is all about purchasing power parity. There we have a significantly higher value. Okay. So this is HDI released by UNDP. Okay. So that is also one of the part. Okay. Now, one more article. Okay. What we see that this has been a significant improvement. 21 judges of India, they have declared their assets. They have made it public. So this is a sign that our judiciary is also moving towards transparency. Okay. So this is one part. 21 Supreme Court judges, they have declared their assets in public forum. Like you can go on Supreme Court website and you can check that what is the asset or what is the total income, total bank balance. Even the bank balance has been made public. That what is the bank balance of Chief Justice of India, or what is the bank balance of the future Chief Justice of India. All these things have been made public now. So that is one thing. Transparency has been this is a move of transparency by Supreme Court judge, which is quite welcome. It is a welcome initiative. If judges at the district level also, if judges at the High Court level also, if they start declaring the same thing, then there will be more trust of the people in judicial system. It will bring more trust in the judicial system. Okay. So this you can put as a case study, or you can put as like reforms in judiciary. There you can add this one point. That Supreme Court has set an example. Supreme Court has set an example by declaring the assets of the judges of the Supreme Court. So that is a reform in judiciary which we can see. Okay. Then there is another part. Okay. Another part, that Gaganyaan mission, it is going to be launched likely in first quarter of 2027. So I will have to change my PPT once again. Okay. Like earlier we were planning for 2025, then 26. Now it is more likely to be in 2027. Okay. Likely to be there in 2027. So that is one update with respect to Gaganyaan. You may remember this one part. This is a humanoid robot Vayomitra. Okay, so we have this Vayomitra, a humanoid robot. Okay, so she will also be going, this robot will also be going on this Gaganyaan mission. In the unmanned mission also, Vayomitra will be going, where this robot will be utilized to see the conditions which are there in a space. Okay, so this is one part. Vayomitra is also there. Okay. What base to give lateral entry in civil services? See, just to give an example, we have to develop a policy on artificial intelligence. Do you think that those who are there in the administration, those who are from history background, those who are from like normal humanity background, will they be as much effective in making policies with respect to artificial intelligence as anyone other who is an expert from that field? If there is someone who is expert from AI field, so they might help to develop a better policy for AI in India. But if we're talking about just the generalist, they might not have that much of insight. Yes, some of them can have it. They can acquire that skill. But on the other hand, we need the expert guidance from time to time. So that's why the lateral services are being encouraged in civil services. Okay. I hope that is clear, Harshit. So this is one question for you. Again, one mains writing question for you. This is in, let's say, 150 words again. Okay. Write smaller answers first. 150 words again. The question is, discuss the role of civil services in nation building. What are the challenges with respect to civil services in India? So now we have discussed this entire topic. So I guess all of you can answer this quite easily. That what are the challenges with respect to civil services in India and the role of them in the nation building. So are you going to write this? So this will be one question for you. Discuss the role of civil services and also what are the challenges with respect to civil services in India. Okay. So this is something which you have to write. Okay. So let's meet then tomorrow, and tomorrow we will meet in the evening session at 5 p.m. just like today, and in the morning we might have this we will have this crash course classes in the morning tomorrow. Today, just due to the mock drill, we are not having this class today. Okay. So thank you everyone. Take care. And see, I have started this initiative for you. If you continue to write the answer, then I will continue this program. Otherwise, I will just tell you the current affairs. So if you want me to continue to give you the model answer and all, so you have to participate in that. You have to write the answers for that. Then only I will be telling you. Okay. So those all who are starting new, those all who have started fresh, and even those who are watching the session later, I am going to continue this part of answer writing only when you participate in that. Okay. So thank you so much everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.